Hello, 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 and welcome back to Life Stories by Glamma J. This is more of a follow-up of what I just done on my series of divorce. It's about 7 vlogs, and vlog 6 has about 3 different additions to it. So you're looking about 9 vlogs on that, and I'm just wrapping it up with the ending part of it, and it's recognizing the different types of abuse and grieving, the stages of grieving, and it could be dealing with a death or divorce. The reason why I find this so critical is because when I had made that phone call for state assistance to get a divorce because I had no money to do it, and costing a lot to get a lawyer, and knowing there are resources out there for you, ladies and gentlemen. In your state has resources for you. There for you to get shelter or for you to get back on your feet. And the thing is sometimes we are afraid to ask, and I want to empower you. I want to uplift you. I want you to feel strong enough knowing you can do it. You can ask for help. And I was on state assistance for a little bit. I had received food stamps, meaning I had the card. I only had it for a little bit, but I wasn't making enough to survive. I was paying child support, and I maybe was paying the $332 a month for my angel. I maybe was surviving on maybe not that. It was horrific, and it put me in a bad situation and environment. And I guess me going through that time, I didn't feel I was worthy enough. That's a good one. Worthy enough to seek for help where I felt others really needed it more so than I did. And that was not a very smart thing that me thinking. And you know what? I'm learning. I learned that. And I don't ever want you to feel that you're not worthy enough. That is there for a reason, and is for you, for both male and female. When Ray and I do cleanings, meaning of the house, and donating, we always donate to the male and female batter center, meaning a shelter, because it happens to both male and female. And I want to stress that divorce can happen to either party. And I know how hard it is to get back on your feet, and Ray does too. You know, it's a situation where don't be so proudful, and because that's when the evilness and the vain and the proudness takes over, and it can get ugly, and it can destroy your way of thinking. So I was asked a question when I had called up for assistance to file a divorce, and the gentleman handled it very well when he asked me this question. And I really didn't think about it. I mean, I didn't think that I was being abused, and I was. And sometimes when we are in a marriage or in a relationship, we are afraid to bring it out to public or to be exposed of it. We don't want to be looked at differently. We're always the ones, we wear masks very, very well. I've always stated I should have won an award for that. That was a heck of a journey. So, yeah, when he asked me, this gentleman from the state had asked me, are you being abused? Are you in an abusive situation? And I had to stop and think. And the first thing is that in the beginning he had physically hurt me, but he doesn't hurt me now. And I go, and that's what I said to the gentleman, and he goes, no, does he do this? And he ran down the list, and he goes, okay, you told me physically he doesn't hurt you today. But there's physical abuse and there's emotional abuse. And there's that scene that pops up. There's verbal abuse with someone's calling you crazy. You're crazy. That is verbal abuse. To make you look at a situation to better them and saying, you're crazy. Not kidding, but in a hostile situation, it's to control the situation. Neglect is a big one. I was very neglected, and there are going to be things that I will tell you that warning signs that you need to be aware of. Sexual abuse, financial and material abuse, medical abuse. There's also psyche abuse, where they will affect your psyche, how you see things, how you second guess yourself, and then they also can use their children as pawns as abuse. You know, there are parents who use their children, they live through their children because they like during sports, you know, that's, how can I'm trying to explain it in a situation like they live through their children of what they wish they had when they were younger. Let the kids be kids. Let the kids miss that ball. Let the kids miss that tackle. Let the kids not make the time on that race. Let the kids be kids. Don't get mad. And I fell into that. I really did. The physical abuse that I had gone through in my relationship with my ex was in the very beginning. I can remember when the bar scene, in the vlog there was a bar scene where he had grabbed my neck and pushed me against the wall and banged my head against the wall. I do remember there was a scene, we had gone out, and alcohol is a factor that can trigger that. And alcohol is not his friend. And his eyes change, and it's like he's a totally different individual. It's like there is a host in you, and it is ugly. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that, but when you deal with an alcoholic or deal with someone who does not know how to handle their alcohol, it is not a pretty scene at all. So when that did happen, it's like I had to be very careful. I had to be careful what I said to him. I had to be very careful how I addressed a situation. I had to do things that I wouldn't want to do. There were times where I don't know what the core of the argument was, but we were in the Volkswagen Bug. Sydney was just born. She was just a baby, a few months, and we had gone out, and I think he accused me of flirting with another guy or something. I think that was what. And he hit the windshield and shattered the windshield of the VW, the Volkswagen Bug. And I thought, I can't get hit again. I got to get myself. So I had gotten out of the vehicle and I was just hysterical. And a girl was watching Sydney, and I had dismissed her. I said she can go back home. And she said, you're not okay. I go, I will be okay. Well, my ex had came up, and it was ugly, and it come out to it where the police had to be called out, and there was a scrabble between him and I in the bedroom. I was on the bed again, forced on the bed, and there was being held and squeezed, and there was physical happening at that moment. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but there was a situation where the cops they did come, and they walked down the hallway with him to go get him, because they knew they saw the marks on me, and he was forcefully taken out of the apartment, and there was blood all over the walls and in the hallway, and I was horrified, and he was arrested. So the next day, I knew he was in jail. You know, when you go into those, it is a pattern. It's a pattern, and their parents had came over, and they had asked me, you know, please forgive him. We'll work on it. You know, we don't want to lose the baby. We don't want to lose rights of the children, and it's that whole guilt thing, you know. And there be other further things, vlogs, I will go into that, but it comes down to it where when you're being physically attacked, or the fist coming at you, and you feel it, and there's something that breaks behind you, that's physical. It is physical when they spit in your face. That's it, when they hold onto your hand. You just don't tolerate that. And I want to stress this to you. This can happen to men. Women can be very vicious and very ugly and very controlling. And if any males are watching this, there is help out there for you. Believe me, today in society it's much different than back then. So I don't ever want you to feel that you are being forgotten. You're not being forgotten at all. The next thing that's emotional is a person going to put you down, make you feel bad about yourself, calls you crazy, mind games, a lot of mind games. Oh my gosh, a lot of mind games. Verbal, verbal means if you love me, you wouldn't leave me. Words, no one else would want you. You are nothing. You're worthless. You're fat. You are. You're just lucky to have me. I'm better than anybody else out there. Neglect, maltreatment that involved non-being physical. Neglect means like there's no communication, there is being ignored, the needs are not being made, the cup's not being filled, the household duties are not being shared responsibly, leaving you with the full responsibility. There's a lot of little factors involved with the neglect. Sexual is having involved in inappropriate sexual behaviors or in a sexual situation where you are not comfortable with, or an act that you're not comfortable with. Sometimes they need some stimulant, like maybe another partner involved and you're not wanting to have that, or a videos, you know, you're not wanting to do what they do in the videos, or they compare you to the individual. Why can't you do that, or that kind of thing. Financial and material abuse. The financial is, I'm going to be very, very honest. I had got into a situation at the time, is that I was so depressed that, you know, I didn't have anybody. I didn't know anybody. They're really good about that, making sure that you don't have family around, trying you to end your relationships with your girlfriends. I spent money that should have went to bills first. That was part of my therapy thinking. You know, I was hiding, disclosing that that unhappiness. So there are times that I made poor decisions on that. So that is part of my involvement of that. I can stay now in this marriage. Is like, God, it feels good. I don't have to go out and buy something, or I can put things back because I don't need it. I remember back in the day, as I would get stuff, I was going to say the S-H-I-T, get stuff that I did not need. And today I don't need that. It's like the whole situation flipped. It's just God knows that Jay is ready to be loved. So, medical, the whole medical situation is that they hold back you going to getting attention or needing like the female care or male care, making you feel guilty that you have to pay out the deductible, or the children. a lot of times, this is going to fall under me on the situation with my children. You know, there are times where I had to go to the hospital by myself because he didn't like going to the hospital. That is part of the neglect and part of responsibility. I don't care if you don't like the hospital. You got to share the responsibility with the children. So there are many, I mean, 99.9 times of the time I had to take the children by myself. And a lot of times with DJ having his asthma attacks, it was late at night. So that was really, you know, where's the father in this situation? He works, so he works during the morning and the day, so I have to do it. So you make up excuses for them. If you catch yourself making excuses for somebody, that should be the first warning red flag. Women abuse men too. Women abuse men too. I can remember being married, being called crazy when I would question something. And I just, gut, if it's in your gut and you feel it, I think you've seen in my first vlog with the divorce series, is that I had made up a white lie and I had said I looked into his phone. I never looked into his phone because I didn't want to know the truth. I just didn't want to know. And when I made up that white lie, I looked in the phone and he said I should never have done that, and I'll pay for it. Yeah, you're right. I paid independence for it. You're right. I ended the marriage. So there were five times later. Another thing that I want to cover is if a person has years of having an affair, and maybe you were the person, meaning, like, for example, I'm the other woman or the other man, you know, I don't want to stereotype just one. They're going to do it to you. Your chances are they're going to do it to you unless they're coming out of a situation where they're not in a healthy situation. Okay? My babies are snoring. If you hear the snoring, it's the fur babies. That is Puppy Churlo. I can remember him wanting me to be friends with the girls that he was having an affair with. And I'm thinking to myself, do they not have enough self-respect for themselves and the character of that individual? I just couldn't believe it. I just thought, I feel for them. Today I feel for them. And I hope they're healthier today, because don't do that. You're worth better than that. If I was put in that situation, that's abuse. They were being abused. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. I'm not angry with them. I can share a story with you. And the sick thing about it is that I was separated and my daughter was about to have a baby, and the other grandmother held the baby shower, and I was not okay. I was mentally not okay during. If you saw the series, I was going through a really, really difficult time, and gosh, I wish I can go back and change it. I wish I was today at that baby shower. I wish I'm at the time I could handle that situation differently. But I'm happy, and I think, you know what? No. I'm happy it happened the way it happened. I just hope that Sydney sees why I did what I did, or said what I said, or acted the way I acted. I can remember going to the baby shower, and I was by myself, and the other woman who he was having an affair with brought, it was at Nathan's parents' house, but the other woman that my soon-to-be ex was having the affair with brought my son and his girlfriend, and I'm thinking, and Sydney invited her, and I'm thinking, okay, that's fine, that, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm thinking, I couldn't believe it. At the time, I could not believe it. And I had to put the fake face on, you know, and sitting across the table looking at this woman. And we're all introducing ourselves, I should say, to each other. And it came around to me, and I'm thinking, it hasn't hit her yet. And I said, I am Sydney's mother. And I went around to the little girl, and she said that her name is Tracy, and she is Sydney's father's girlfriend. And I thought, gosh, that sounded so realistic, real. And it really, it hurt. It hurt so bad. And I had to fake it, and I had to leave the room probably a few minutes afterwards, and I started bawling in the bathroom. And I'm just thinking, that just shouldn't have happened. That situation should never have happened, in my opinion. My kids didn't know what I was going through. I should have handled the situation. I should have been stronger. I should have said, well, welcome. I should have been more caring to her, because if some man did that, she knew he was married. She was being abused too. So she came in the bathroom, and I go, I'm so sorry, this is your day. I am so sorry. And she goes, I don't regret inviting her, Mom. I don't regret it. I said, it's okay, Sydney. It's okay. It's just hard, and I stayed till the end, and it was tough. It was tough putting on the fake smile. But today I can look back and think, God, I wish I could pull her outside and have a cup of coffee and say, how are you doing? I hope you're okay. Not in a sarcastic way. I'm going, today I would have done that, saying, I hope you're doing okay. I hope he's not doing these things to you. If that makes sense. So I'm okay. Today I can look back at that and thinking, I wish I could have handled it differently, but that was part of my journey to become stronger. Sick, but yeah, it happens. So another thing of feeling that you will recognize of being abused is that people will comment and say, yeah, Jay, you're right. I always said, before they even knew, I masked it very well at work, at the Red Cross, and at the school when I was a para, and at the other jobs. I always said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did that. And there's no reason why I should have said sorry. There's no reason that I needed to say sorry. There was no reason for me to accept blame for something that I wasn't even in control of. Now, saying sorry for someone who lost someone, that's okay. But don't accept blame for something that you didn't do. I always did that. Always. And today I don't do it. And it feels good. It feels good. Feeling abused. I wrote some of the stuff down last night so I wouldn't forget, and there are some key points I wanted to cover. Feeling abused. People who have been abused need help in sorting out their thinking, how they're feeling. So at the time, me going through my marriage at that time before I divorced, I always doubted myself, doubted the way I felt, second guessed, maybe I'm overreacting. He really didn't mean to do it, or I need to stay because he might harm himself. I doubted. So when you're questioning yourself, you're not feeling confident, there's something that's a trigger in there that you are not confident enough, knowing this is not right, this is not going to happen, and I'm going to stop it, I'm going to call it out. Okay? Confused. Feeling confused. I felt very, very confused, meaning whether or not I should tell somebody. I was very, very careful who I spoken to, who I talked to. people were surprised. Are you sure that's so and so? He's a football coach. He would never do that. You serious? No, that's it. No way. He wouldn't do. Then I'm crazy. Have you experienced that before? She would never do that to you. Are you sure? Are you sure you're thinking that? Are you? No. Guilty. Blames oneself. It's not my fault. I had always blamed myself on his behavior. Always. I should never have picked up the Jack Daniels. I should never have had that for the party. I should never have had that many candles out because one got over. I should never have said what I said because we got into a fight. I should never have ever worn those PJs, but now because he's having an affair. I should, wish I could, yeah. Afraid. Afraid to report to anyone and keeps it a secret. I was very afraid because I didn't have any immediate family here at all, and his family was here, and yeah, I was taught to be afraid for 16 years. Distrustful. Doesn't trust anyone. I didn't trust nobody. Didn't trust a soul. And that also was a trigger, and that's some of the vlogs I've made in there. I think through the depression, anxiety that I've made on those vlogs, knowing your triggers. I know now why I didn't trust, where it came, where it was established. And I wasn't healed by what I had gone through as my childhood. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, and I want to stress that. But you need to recognize your triggers, why you do what you do, and when you do it. Depressed, boy. There are different. I was very, very depressed. I put the mask was good. I was wearing a good mask. I should have won an award. Boy, just being sarcastic. Teasing. Yeah, that depression was sickening, and that's why it took so long for me to heal, to be where I am today. And now going through the different depression, because I have a little bit of depression with the limitations that I am because of the accident and the daily pain that I'm in. That's very frustrating. But you know what? Not today, devil. I have to stop and not empower it. So, angry. Puts anger onto others. I know for a fact that I'm guilty of this. And what I mean by that is that I am just recently married. I just got remarried in 2015 of August. And I am married to a wonderful, wonderful man, Ray. And there are things that he does not know he has not read the book. A lot of things have not been brought out. But I am healing, and he knows I'm healing. He knows I've gone through a divorce, and there's certain things that we have discussed, but there's sometimes where he could have done something, or there's something that he's doing, and I will just get angry, and the way my anger is I shut down, I remain quiet, I remove myself from the situation. I'm not a yeller. I don't hit. I don't degrade. I just shut down. That is my anger. And so he goes, why are you not wanting to be with me? Why, meaning in the same room? Why are you putting yourself in a different room? And that is part of my security. And I'm recognizing that. And he goes, when you're ready, and he says this and it makes me mad, and he's right. When you're ready to talk, I'm here. And I'm thinking, I'm so used to all these years of someone nagging at me or looking over me when I'm sleeping or saying I'm worthless. I'm having it totally opposite. So I am slowly still healing, and I am learning positive behaviors. And I'm not wearing a mask today. I'm having healthy conversations. We are learning every day. This relationship is not perfect. Every marriage is not perfect. Believe me. I'm not perfect, and I don't want to be. I make mistakes. So that's part of my anger. One thing that, where am I at on my time? At 30 minutes. Woo, this is going to be a long edit. That's okay. I am going to end it here because it's so long and it's like, is she going to ever finish? But those are your signs of abuse. Those are your different types of abuse. So when that gentleman asked me, Jonna, are you being abused? He went through every single one of them. And I'm going, neglect. He had to explain it to me. And so, yes, if you feel you are experiencing any of these, you are going through abuse. And you need to see if you need to go through some therapy, talk to somebody, go to a safe source or a safe house or a shelter, and find out what is happening. Am I needing to get out of this? Am I in a healthy situation? And it's okay. Don't be so proud not to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. You're strong. We're behind you. I understand. So the next vlog I will make will be about grieving, the different stages of grieving, and what I had experienced. So, and maybe you too. Thank you. You have a beautiful day. Share this. It might help somebody who's going through a difficult time. Maybe they're not being honest with themselves and say, I'm not being abused. I didn't see any marks on me. It's right here. It's right here. It's in your soul. It's in your heart. It's in your mind. It's in your gut. Be good to yourself. Please be good to others, because we just don't know. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, and come back and visit again. Climate J.